So we've probably all heard the advice that consistency is the key to success. So whether that's academics or exercise, doing a little bit each day does play out well in the long run. And this is definitely true for many aspects. But this video is going to focus on academics and how I found it helpful to not be too consistent. So this video was actually inspired by the common question that I get, which is how much did I study each day? And for me, it wasn't a simple number. So even though I was consistent in studying each day, I wasn't consistent in the number of hours that I did. And here's what I mean. So for example, at the start of semester, when there wasn't a lot of homework or assignments, I might just study for around 1 hour each day. And then a couple of weeks later, there might be more assignments, so I might ramp up the time that I study, and now let's say I study for 2 hours each day. And during those peak times where there's a lot of exams, SACs, and tests, I would go up to a maximum of around 4 to 5 hours each day, but this was usually over a short period, and this was just to avoid any burnout. So this is essentially how much I studied each day in year 12, and you can see it kind of depended on the workload. And my basic reasoning was that, let's say it's the first day back from school, I might find it extremely unmotivating to pump out a 4-hour study sesh when there isn't that much work to be done. And the reverse is true. If I said that I am only going to study 1 hour each day, I might find that I get overwhelmed during certain periods of the year. So that's why I always adjusted the time that I studied for. So you might look at this and think it's a bit like cramming, but there is one key difference, and that is there is a structure and there's a plan. So for example, cramming might look something like this. And as you can see, it's much harder to climb a building that's 90 degrees as opposed to taking the stairs. So basically in cramming, there is a sharp increase in the amount of time that you spend studying, whereas in the first method, you are basically gradually increasing. And this kind of allows you to adjust to the new workload. How much exactly you spend each day really depends on you as an individual and what your goals are. But the idea that I'm trying to get at is that you want to adjust the time depending on your workload. But just as a general rule, and if you don't have a time that you already work with, I would usually recommend 1 hour per day and use that as a sort of benchmark. So see how that goes and adjust it depending on how much time you need to stay up to date with your current coursework. And basically just fine tune this 1 hour each day so you reach a time that's both practical and effective enough so you're up to date. Then as the semester progresses, you want to gradually increase the time that you study, so it gives you more time to revise, but it also acts as a sort of buffer zone, just in case if anything unexpected does come up. And this is why it's useful to have one of those study planners or timetables, which basically tell you when your important exams are. And this allows you to work back. So for example, 1 week before my important exams and tests, I might be studying 4 hours each day. And then 3 weeks before that, I might do 2 hours each day. And then for the rest of that term or semester, I might be doing 1 hour. So this is how much I would be studying based off different periods during the semester. And of course, this is just a general rule. So if you do fall behind or do extra one day, then it doesn't really matter. As long as you're following the basic trend, then you're maximizing your effectiveness. So to stay motivated and maximize your effectiveness, you might like to try adjusting the amount of time you study each day. And when you're adjusting, make sure it's like taking the stairs and hopefully not like an elevator.